Hello, everyone, and welcome to another exciting episode of the Pineapple Podcast. Today we have Melanie Robinson. Melanie is not only a real estate investor, she actually spends a lot of her time coaching and helping people in the mindset space as well. So, Melanie, welcome to the Pineapple Podcast.
Thank you so much for having me. I'm so excited to have this conversation with you.
Oh, 100%. We were looking forward to it. I know you're doing a lot of work in terms of, growing the real estate business and also in terms of spending that quality time giving people mindset, advice, and doing some coaching and things like that as well. So we'll definitely be jumping into your story for sure. But before we get into where you are today, it's always good because our viewers are always wanting to know, well, how did you transition from, let's say, your day job or your career and getting into real estate? If you want to share that backstory with us, I would love to know that.
Sure. It's actually kind of funny because I had no interest in real estate at all. I
No.
got none, zero. I got
Wow.
into this world of real estate because of my husband. He had an interest and I'm going to say dragged me. I mean, not really, but dragged me to an acre event, a rain acre event back
Yes.
in 2015. And so truth be told, we took action here in BC. We did a whole bunch of flips and new builds and burrs and bought foreclosures. I think we did 9 flips in 2 years. Like we were really active, but
Brilliant.
I didn't like it at all.
Really.
Not at all.
I want to stay on that because what I'm liking here is you took the action, you weren't sure on what it is, so you tried all the different strategies,
Yeah.
and now you're figuring out what you like and what you don't like and what you're going to run with.
That's right. So I didn't like it at all. I was miserable. I was feeling super unfulfilled. I felt like it was a really self-focused business. Well, it was at that point. It was, you know, I mean, dealing with trades, and I could reframe that now from where I sit now because I'm so passionate and love it. But back then, I really just felt like I was not fulfilled in any way, shape, or form. I
Right.
didn't feel like I was making a difference in anybody's lives. And that's what I feel like I'm on the planet to do. So it felt very empty to me. And I had decided I was going to leave real estate investing. I was done with it. I hated it. And so I got my resume professionally done up, was applying for real jobs where I could go and find something that was more purposeful.
Right.
And then my realtor here said, "Hey, I met this girl. I think you'd like her. You should join her boot camp." And that taking Corey and Tiffany's boot camp was the pivotal moment for me where they introduced me to the idea that you could do these, you could create win-wins. You could make a difference in people's lives through investing in real estate. I don't know how I didn't see that when I was doing it before because now it's just such a no-brainer. But
Right.
it was like everything changed for me in a moment when I realized that I could actually make a difference in other people's lives while doing what I had already been doing. It was like game changer. That was it. I
That,
was
you know,
all in.
that's absolutely brilliant. And I do want to stay 1 minute on that before you go on.
Yeah.
We often hear and we often say, when you get in front of the right coach or the right mentor, the right people, one line, one sentence, one moment can change your life instantly. And you've just
Yeah.
said it. You've
Yeah.
said that without anybody
And you
prodding
just
you.
made my hair stand up because there is that literally is the truth for me. I mean, I entered that boot camp. I was like, whatever. I guess I'll do it. I may as well do it. Um, with nothing, like no, I I had nothing in me, and in a moment's time, my life changed. My life
100%. And,
changed.
and for our viewers as well, it's the same thing for you. Like get alignment, find the right people. They just need to be a few steps ahead of you. And the other thing is, you got to remember while we look for that moment of instant change, it takes us our lifetime to get to that moment. And when you get to that moment, it happens. It
And
wouldn't
you just
happen before.
know.
Yeah,
There's no question about it. I mean, for me, because I'm such a heart-centered person and making a difference and creating win-wins, all of that is just part of who I am, and it's so important to me. I don't know, again, now that I'm in the world that I'm in, I don't understand how I spent 5 years in real estate or 4 years in real estate without this awareness. But to hear people speak about being heart-centered, about being a good human, about being kind, about creating win-wins. I hadn't heard that language, not once in the world that I was in prior. And then once I landed and I heard it, I couldn't unhear it. It's like I'm surrounded by heart-centered people who want to make a difference in this world of real estate. So it's just so fascinating. Yeah.
Absolutely. And I love that because honestly, this is how you embrace being an entrepreneur. The minute you come into the real estate space, guys, you're working for yourselves. If you get up in the morning and you don't take action, that's on you. If you take action, that's on you. So take the action because if you want the freedom, if you want the fulfillment, it's just on the other side of that fear. It's just on the other side of that, containment of I'm not sure if I can do it or not. You just got to push past it.
Yeah.
So what happened with the resume? Did you end up tearing it up, or did you just focus now on the real estate side and started to build more?
I tore that sucker up. It was gone. It was done. I actually, so I did the boot camp. I
Yeah.
signed up for Ignited, which again, so there is a moment in time, I can tell you exactly where I was. I was at a gas station in Kamloops coming home from our cabin when I decided to say I'm in and join their mentorship program. Um, and I knew that if I was doing that and I was, spending that kind of money, that I was gonna do this, that I needed to do this. And it was like, do I go and get a job or do I join this mentorship program? And I made the decision at that gas station to type I'm in. And I mean, the feeling, like the thinking sort of like, oh God, then I got to make this happen. I mean, it wasn't a comfortable place to be at all, but I did it. And honestly, that was it. I mean, then poor Jason, he's the one who got me into real estate, and I like left him in the wind. This is my baby. I love it. It's my passion. And
Yeah,
sometimes he joins along, but mostly it's me, which is so funny too.
absolutely. That's quite interesting. But when passion comes out of people, I mean, your clear demonstration of what can happen, right? So now you knew it was real estate. What did you end up? What sort of strategies did you revisit, or what strategies did you get into now that you were sort of in your zone?
Yeah. So once I got into my zone, to be completely honest, and I do think it's really important for listeners to hear this piece of it too, it took me about a year or a year and a half to land. So I joined the mentorship program. I learned about JVs, raising capital. But really, what I did in that year and a half is I built relationships. I Zoomed all day long, every day. There were days where I wondered, what am I doing? Like, I'm not taking action. Is this ever going to work? Am I ever going to make this happen? Did I waste that money and time? Like, should I have just gone and get a job? Because I didn't take action right away. What I,
Right.
again, now that I look, so where I landed was a year and a half of building relationships, talking to investors, finding out what they were doing, connecting, learning about, learning who people were, what their goals were, their passions, without having an agenda. I didn't have an agenda because I didn't know where I wanted to invest, in what, with whom. I didn't know any of that. I just knew I wanted to do this, right?
Right. Perfect.
So I spent a solid year and a half Zooming all day, questioning myself at one point, and this is me being like maybe overly transparent, but at one point, Jason said to me, it, and he had the best of intentions, but I'll tell you, it did not go over well.
Right.
Honey, do you think maybe it's time that you spent a little more time trying to acquire a property and a little less time building relationships?
Right.
And I mean, that like cut, it was like, maybe he's right. Maybe I am like, that all of the
Yeah.
stuff that we
Yeah.
as,
The
when we're
doubts
trying
and
to
the fears.
start,
Yeah.
all of
Absolutely.
the fears, the sort of the self-worth, are people going to like me? Am I going to be able, like all of the stuff. Um, Anyhow, fast forward, I kept going. And then I landed on creating a partnership with Ryan and Ashley in New Brunswick. So
Okay.
So I knew I wanted to do JVs. I didn't feel proud of, I love the BC market for appreciation and all of those plays. I love it. But from a JV perspective, for me, I didn't feel proud of saying, you need tons of cash, you need huge qualifying power, and we're going to do the appreciation, like mortgage pay down and appreciation. There's going to be no cash flow. It might it might cost us money each month, but in the end, this is going to be a good investment. I do believe it's a good investment, but I didn't feel good offering that.
Right.
And so I needed to find an opportunity that I felt excited about, that I felt like, oh my gosh, this is freaking amazing for investors. And I'm super excited about it. So that's what I was looking for, was how do I do that? And if it's not in BC, which I turned over every stone in BC before I landed as well. I was up in tiny little communities of 4,000 people trying to figure out if the numbers would work.
Love it.
I did
Yeah.
all the things, and I researched basically every market across Canada to figure out that I loved New Brunswick. I loved
Beautiful.
the purchase price. I loved the rental income. I loved the growth that was happening. I loved all of that. But now I live in BC, and I'm going to be the working partner in a JV, but I don't live in a province where that works. Well, how can I do that? So I ended up partnering with Ryan and Ashley, who were fellow Ignited members as well. And in talking to them, they had a product that was amazing. I mean, when they would talk to me about numbers, it was like you had to pick my jaw up off the floor. It was so exciting in comparison to what I could do here in BC. So they had a product, but they had no relationships, and they did not want to be raising capital and finding partners. Like, that was, they loved to find the deals and deal with the properties and do all of that, but they did not want to be doing the other piece.
Nice.
I had the other piece. I had all these relationships I'd spent a year and a half building, and that's my passion, are people. And
Right.
so we pooled our resources, and we became the working partner together, where they found the properties, I found the partners and raised the capital. And yeah, we acquired 20 properties in a year and a half, 80 doors. And
Wow.
yeah, it was super fun, super awesome.
No, this is what we're here for, right? So I know we want to go further a little bit, but I really want to unpack some things here because
Yeah,
there's some
yeah,
valuable lessons here. You're self-analyzing where you're going to sit in the real estate space. When you can self-evaluate, you become stronger because now you're finding your core strengths. And I love the fact that you said, these partners you have, they want to do the work in the market that you love. But you didn't just say, I love New Brunswick. You did research. You went around, you checked. You said, okay, that is the market. So it's a
yeah,
checkbox. I'm satisfying myself. Then you attracted the right partners in your life because they were all about doing the work, which is a very important piece of the whole real estate equation.
yeah,
And the fact is, raising capital is not for the faint of heart. You really do have to build relationships.
yeah,
So the fact that you almost stepped away from that, because that's the foundation work. You don't really see it until the house goes up, right?
yeah,
But the foundation is critical because now you have a list of people you can call, you can talk to, you can say, hey, we're doing this. And why? Because they know you. Now you've already broken the ice. And I love the fact that you shared with us a year to a year and a half in breaking that ice.
yeah,
So
yeah,
now you're really powerful because you have this, and now you've recognized this is my strength. And because raising capital, that's a job by itself. Doing the work in the properties, that's a job by itself. And honestly, if you want to scale to the level you are at $80, that is a significant milestone.
yeah.
Cannot happen with you doing everything. It's just
No,
impossible. Just
I
impossible.
collaboration, partnership, pooling of resources, everybody doing the piece of the equation that they love, that they're passionate about, that fuels them. That's, to me, what it's all about, because I love, like, love what I do. They, it's funny, we needed to raise a little bit of money for a renovation recently. And well, actually, that's not true. It was a JV partnership, and we needed additional funds for a renovation. And they were like sick about it. And for me, and I said, that's why you have me. It's all good. Like,
Right.
this is fine. I mean, for
Yeah.
me, there was no sweat involved in that at all. It was just a conversation to have. And we had different options of what we could do. And so it just is funny how something will cause one person a ton of stress and angst, and where somebody else, there's ease in that. And that's what you want to find. You want to find, I mean, not to say that everything's you have to use your skills and overcome your own dialogue to be able to do it. However, I can do that. That's easy for me to do, whereas for somebody else that might not be. So you got to find your passion, find your strengths, find where you feel like you're in flow, and do that. Do more of that.
Yeah, no, 100%. I absolutely love that because this is real. This is where people can understand now. Take the plunge. If you're in a particular program, a training program, like utilize your coaches, utilize the training and the teaching there, because ultimately you can put it in practice and then you can really develop your skills. Because these things we're talking about, raising capital, finding joint venture partners, it's very doable, but you do have to first bring yourself up to the point where you have the confidence. Confidence comes from training. Because
Yeah.
once you're trained in the area and you find the right mentors, you can then push yourself forward, right?
Yeah.
Sometimes you can simple as read a book and people get a lot of value out of it. But in reality, real estate is a people business.
Yeah.
You cannot exist in real estate without a right team. And when I say that, I mean, like, we're talking 80, $90. We're talking scaling. We're talking land development in a lot of cases. This needs a community of people to make it happen. If you're looking to buy a few properties, existing residential homes, that's fine. A lot of people are doing that on their own. But when you want to have some fun and getting together and having the meetups and the Zoom calls and getting to share people's stories and build a community, then it's not a lonely road as an entrepreneur anymore. And on top of that, people are going to support you because they know you and they know that your viability in the project is also going to let them win. Because why am I giving you my money? It's because I don't have the time. I don't like the fact that I get negative returns at the bank. And this is going to give me an exponential amount of returns that I know for sure is going to come to me. So
Yeah.
you're really helping other people's lives. And at the same time, you're finding the purpose in your life to do what's passion, right? And when you're in passion,
1,000%.
24 hours of working doesn't feel like 24
I
hours,
know. And I mean, you hit the nail on the head. For me, the idea that I have no zero interest in convincing people that real estate is the investment vehicle for them. Zero.
Right.
I work with people who already love the idea of investing in real estate. They've already made the decision that they want to be in real estate.
Yes.
And then I'm providing an opportunity. If they are looking to make their money grow in real estate, then I'm providing an opportunity because they don't have the time or expertise to do it. And so I get to fulfill exactly what you said. I get to fulfill my dreams and goals by investing in real estate, and I can't do it without them. And they get to fulfill their dreams and goals in real estate, and they can't do it without someone like myself, right? And so it's this beautiful marriage, this beautiful partnership of, like, the term win-win, I feel like you can just skirt over it and it sounds like a cliche, but it's the truth. It's literally what we're creating, where I
Yeah.
get to achieve what I want, you get to achieve what you want, and we do it alongside each other. We can't do it separately, we do it together. So it's awesome. It's
Absolutely.
amazing. Like, I can't believe I didn't love this before.
I think you were finding your path, because when you did, it's like you're on fire now, you're exploding.
Yeah.
And the one thing I want to share with people too is you can't be everywhere and everything to everybody. So once you start narrowing down your niches, finding the financial partner you want to work with, the investors that you want to work with, it's repeatable. So you're not always stressed about, okay, I got to go find new ventures to invest in and stuff. Like, as long as Melanie and her JVs are working these deals, your money's going to be repeated, and you're going to get that income growing out of you. On the flip side, the Melanie Group is actually building up a real estate portfolio that's going to be strong enough and viable enough for everybody in your community to be strong. And it's the same thing for me. It's the same thing for people like Judy Paré. It's the same thing for with Michael and Scott and the things that they are doing. Like, the communities are strong, and you can only reach so much people. So never get stressed out. Like, one investment at a time, one
Yeah.
deal at a time, and
Yeah.
then it grows. So that's, I love the sharing that you're sharing with us for sure. So tell us a little bit more about the real estate side as well. So are you guys going to continue focusing on multifamily? Are you looking to diversify? Where are you guys with the real estate?
Yeah, so we're at a little bit of a transition point, or a pause, maybe I'll say. We bought Allburs in New Brunswick, and so we are getting those optimized before we focus on acquiring more. So
Right.
I think it's an important piece in real estate, and I play this role in our company. So we incorporated, we have a company together, Ryan and Ashley and I, and I call myself, I'm the gas and the brakes. So I'm the one who says, okay, I feel comfortable with us acquiring more. We're in a good position. Our teams are caught up, and I feel confident in being able to offer new partners opportunities. And I'm also the brakes when I say, I don't think we should bring anything on right now until, in fairness and out of respect to our existing partners and lenders, we need to get caught up on what we have and give that all of our attention before we go and grow more. So we're in a place right now where I've put the brakes on. I mean, we make the decision together. It's not just me, but I'm the one who kind of guides that. And right now we have the brakes on. We're getting caught up. We're going to get all of our properties optimized, fulfill all those burrs with JV partners, get them their as much of their money back as we can, do all of that, do the refinances on the multifamilies, because everything that was 4 doors or less, we did with JV partners. Everything that was 5 doors or more, we bought in our corporation and I raised capital for. So on those 5 plus, we have refinances and things to do to pay out our private lenders. In our 4 and under, we have JV partners where, some of them have done their refinances already, but others, that's coming up. So right now we're not in an acquiring phase, but once we get everything optimized, then we'll regroup. And I think our focus is going to be more on multifamily, less on residential. But I also am very myself personally. So outside of New Brunswick, outside of Skyvine, our corporation there, I would like to diversify into other provinces and potentially into the US. So I will be looking to do very similar partnerships that I'm doing with Ryan and Ashley in other provinces or places where I can add value to a team by doing what I love, which is the investor relations side. And having people that are boots on the ground somewhere else. So I would like to expand. I don't want 500 doors in New Brunswick. So I see expanding to other locations as well.
Love it. And one really, really important thing that I really want viewers to understand, your job is not to keep acquiring, acquiring, acquiring. You have to optimize, and you share it. Sometimes you may do a deal or 2 deals for the year, and that's it. Don't ever stress out about that, because when you're working these deals, optimization is your secret to success. You have to get those buildings performing, and it does take time, effort, and energy. And you can't keep piling on real estate on that, because now you're going to get a time crunch, time delay. Deals are always happening every year. The market is shifting and moving, and you will find your deals. But the optimization makes you strong, it makes you profitable, and it makes investors say, you know what? You're the right team for me. So I love you sharing that, Melanie. It's almost like you're reading my mind and giving me the answers before. So I love it, love it, love it.
That's so funny.
Yeah. So I do want to get into the other space that you're in, which is all about, helping people, doing the coaching and the mindset, because I know you've done a good job in the last maybe year or couple of years, where you were sharing to people, to your community, all about setting your minds, making sure that you're in the right place so that you can push forward. Our biggest challenge is ourselves, right?
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
so yeah, I'd love to get a little bit about that with you as well.
Yes. So, oh my gosh, I could talk all day long about this. So you'll have to rein me in. But I am super passionate about the mindset piece of it, and super passionate about supporting investors, because, I mean, I spent 3 years doing those lives every Monday, supporting investors with their mindset. So I've I've seen a lot. That means people have reached out to me with a lot of their challenges and so on. And you can take, I mean, we can learn, we can get super smart at crunching numbers, analyzing deals, doing due diligence, all of the things, the how to's of investing in real estate, which there's amazing trainers like yourself and other people who are offering, the how to be a real estate investor. But if we all don't have the right conversation going on in our mind, if we have negative self-talk, if we don't believe in ourselves, if we don't believe people will invest with us, if we have all this stuff going on behind the scenes that nobody can see, but that's the dialogue that's running in our mind. We can't implement what it is that we're learning from these amazing trainers. We can't create success in real estate if we don't have a mindset that supports that success. Or maybe we can achieve a little bit, but we can't, if you have big goals, then you've got to get out of your own way. You've got to really pay attention to your mindset, your thoughts, what you're saying to yourself, the mental preparation, using it as a skill, not just as a, when I feel great, that's fantastic. And when I don't, everybody knows it. And that's just who I am. That doesn't fly when you're wanting to create massive success. So, man, oh man, it's such a critical piece.
Yeah, no, 100%, because that is to me the most valuable piece. It's you, because like I say, you are your biggest obstacles, and it's funny that you say that, because when I'm doing the coaching as well, I've actually had people where I said, okay, forget real estate. Let's just talk about you. And one lady actually said, okay, he's telling me this. I want to hear about real estate, but I'm going to go with it anyways. After several weeks of working together, then she's like, light bulb moment. I get it. I was all over the place. So now that she had clarity, her ability to accelerate and get deals and put things in place was actually mind blowing. Because once you get that flow, after you set it in your mind, there's really nothing stopping you but you.
Yeah.
Obviously, you'll have to work through the deals and the finances and the headaches around the how, but the power becomes in you. So the fact that you've been doing that for such a long time, I think is absolutely brilliant. I'm sure that people would have gotten a lot of benefit out of that as well.
Yeah, I mean, so here's the piece. If I could share one thing that I think everybody on the planet needs to know.
Let's hear it, man. Let's hear it.
Let's hear it
on the Pineapple Podcast.
Yeah, there you go. What we think about, so we're all thinking things all the time. We have this little voice inside our head that's saying things to ourselves before we get on a call, before we go into a meeting, while we're in the shower, while we're making dinner, whatever it is. There's a conversation, there's a dialogue, right?
Correct.
That thought actually causes your brain to release chemicals to your body that create a feeling. So your thoughts create, literally, physiologically, they create how you feel.
Agree. That's absolutely true.
Okay. So then how you feel automatically shines through in your physiology, in your tone of voice, in your presence. Automatically. How I'm feeling shines through.
100%.
How I show up to a call, to a meeting, to my family, to a potential, JV partner or whoever it might be, how I show up dictates whether or not we're going to create a beautiful relationship or not.
That's right.
And what that relationship is dictates the kind of success that I can create in my business and in my life.
That's correct. I mean, ultimately, that is exactly where it starts from inside of you.
So yeah. We've got to if we want to create the success that we want to create, we have to get control over this, because this literally is what dictates all the rest. It dictates our action or our inaction. It dictates our presence, whether people like us or don't like us, whether we can connect or not connect. All of it stems from what's going on inside. So people think, fake it till you make it. I don't believe in that, because faking it, you can't fake it. Your physiology, the message that you're sending, the energy that you're oozing out to the world is an automatic response to what you're thinking and saying to yourself about yourself and about the world. So you've got to take control of that, and naturally the results follow.
100%. And that doesn't come overnight. You really have to practice it. But the one thing that I'll share with you as well, a lot of times you talk to people and they sense something. Oh, you're not yourself today. Something is wrong. It comes through without you even recognizing it or realizing it, right? Until 100%. Somebody mirrors it back to you to say, you don't seem to be yourself today. What's going on? Then you might think, oh yeah, you know what? I'm working on finding $500,000 in there, and it's consuming my mind, and I'm not sure if I can do it. And so it's coming out in your energy. It's coming out in your talk. And so the discipline is what I think you're getting to. is really critical. And then there's also exercises where you can, because you're mentally aware, you can bring back yourself to that.
And
So
that is the magic. There is the magic. So here's the deal. Life happens. Like
that's right.
life happens. We have stressful times. I'm a parent of a 16 and a 19-year-old daughters. My home is not always harmonious. Um, you know, life happens. Yet we have, we want to build success. So how can you be the master of this? How can you learn to be in control of your state, in control of your thoughts in order to enter this next thing? It's like, I'm here, maybe my daughters are screaming or one of them's yelling at me, telling me I'm the worst mom on the planet. And now I've got to get on a Zoom with a potential partner. Well, I need to have the skills to be able to get myself present and get myself grounded and be the person I want to be to the person that's in front of me, regardless of what just happened 3 seconds ago. And we all have different examples of that, in our life in different ways. I'll say, a real life example. My sister just had a baby last night. And so so exciting. And so I was up late last night, much later than I normally would be. And yet I have this big day today. I had, a call before this, I have this, and it's important to me to be 1,000% present and be of service if I'm going to do something. So I don't want to come with lower energy or whatever. So I use all of the things that I share with other people to get myself into a resourceful state so that I am 1,000% here and can be present. I have a process that I do before I get on a call in order to show up the person that I want to be, regardless of what might have happened. I mean, last night was a super exciting, positive thing, but it would be the same idea if I have, something that's really stressful. I've got a fourplex over in Nanaimo that many people have heard me talk about. I could teach you all of the tips on how not to build a fourplex. I will be a master trainer of how not to build a fourplex in Nanaimo.
Love it.
I'll tell you, every lesson that you could possibly learn. I have been on the couch sobbing, feeling like a complete failure. If I didn't have the skills to be able to pull myself out of that, I would not have, at the same time that fourplex, 5 years in April, it's coming up. So this is a 5-year span of stress and misery and all sorts of different things. But if I didn't have the skills to make myself resourceful and focus on the positive instead of the negative and all the things, I would not have simultaneously built a portfolio of 80 doors in New Brunswick. I'd have been on the couch crying, feeling like a failure, and thought I could never do this thing called real estate, and been a puddle and a mess and done nothing. But because I have the skills, I am able to have two things going on simultaneously, which we all do. Not good things and good things. And where I focus my attention dictates how I'm going to feel. And if I want to do this thing called life and I want to enjoy it and I want to have fun and I want to build relationships and success and all that, then I need to be in control of this so that fourplex, my teenagers, what the government does, what the interest rates are doing, what the market, all the negative things that can happen so that they don't have me laying on the couch in a puddle.
100%. I mean, that is a great sharing because this is what entrepreneurship is all about. And these are skill sets that you have to develop. When I was in the corporate world as well, with these big companies, I had a conversation with the president at one time because and the question literally was, how do you flip from situation to situation to situation? You have a plant with a couple of hundred employees. You have it all over the province, all different provinces. You have marketing people with a couple of hundred people in there alone coming to you to get things done. Then you have the PR stuff. You have the administrators coming and they're all coming at you. You want to know why CEOs, CFOs make $20 million a year, $25 million a year? That is exactly why, Melanie, it's what you described. The ability to take on task and switch from task to task to task and be successful in it because they're zoning themselves in. And another tip I'll give you is a lot of these executives or CEOs who are in high decision-making positions have coaches and consultants to manage them and their emotional state, because with control of your emotional states, sky's the limit. And you
Yeah.
found that naturally, which is mind-blowing, because this is also some of the work that I do with our members in the business planning and development and what have you. It's all about how do you switch and keep energized so that you can have the success.
Yeah.
So brilliant, brilliant strategy. I mean, thank you so much for giving us that insight. To me, that's another golden nugget, guys. Learn that discipline. You know, Melanie is there now. She's working on helping people more actively as well. There's so many people in the community, myself included, that we're there to help people achieve these things because we at this level, you know, the corporations, the Matimis of the world and the big developers, they got it going on there. But real estate is our vehicle, and this is how we're going to get there together. So,
Yeah.
so
Yeah.
absolutely love that, Melanie. I mean, you've given us so much insight, so much good nuggets. I thank you so much.
Oh
So
my
tell
goodness,
us,
it's my pleasure. It's my
yeah, so
pleasure.
tell us
One thing
what's, yeah, go ahead,
Sorry, can I
please.
just share one thing? Because you mentioned sort of I came about it naturally. One thing that we didn't touch on that I just think is an important piece from the mindset coaching perspective, like from my role, is that my background is in NLP. So we have a family business doing corporate training, coaching, consulting, leadership skills. My mom's a master trainer of NLP, neuro linguistic programming, and I'm a master practitioner of NLP. So I have the sort of the training and the foundation. This was my life pre real estate. It was all helping executives get to the next level of success. So mindset has been my life since I was 20. In different ways supporting people to achieve success. Then I left that world. I entered real estate, and then I merged the two, just because of naturally who I was and what I was just naturally sharing with people. Then became like oh my goodness, this is critical to people's success. So I do come by it naturally because I've had it in my life for so long, but I do have sort of training and experience. I shouldn't say just, but I'm not just a real estate investor who has kind of found out that mindset is important. This is literally my world and my training and my background prior to real estate as well.
Absolutely. I totally
Yeah.
love that. And, you know, with that as well, I probably think at this point in time, you know, what is sort of like the last tip before we kind of say goodbye that you'd love to share with people? I will mention that, you know, I'm sure people would love to get in touch with you. So is it okay if we put your contact information in the comments so that they can have access to you?
I would love that.
Oh,
I would love that.
wonderful.
I mean, like I said, you can't stop me from talking about mindset. So yes, anybody who wants to have a conversation about mindset, learn more about what I'm offering to investors, I would love nothing more than to help in any way that I can.
Beautiful. Well,
Yeah.
guys, I would definitely put the contact information for you all so you can connect with Melanie. And you know, any parting words as we say goodbye, Melanie?
I don't think so. I mean, I think we've said it all. We all deserve to be happy and live the life that we want to live. And there's no point in torturing ourselves with negative thoughts that cause us to feel horrible as we live our life. It stops us from creating success, and it stops us from enjoying what we have while we have it. Waiting to be happy until one day when I achieve this or that. No, why don't you learn the skills to be happy right now, even though everything isn't exactly as you hope it to be? Master that so you can enjoy what you have. You can enjoy the people that are around you right now, and you can build whatever success means to you. So that's, I
100%.
think, yeah.
I could not say it any better. Melanie, thank you so much for giving us your story, sharing so much knowledge, and the fact that you are a big part of the community. I thank you for that. And to our viewers, again, guys, remember, hit the like, subscribe, and notify button. Please share this with a friend because we are continuing to grow our base and to help people achieve financial freedom. So once again, folks, remember, it's all about being tough on the outside, sweet on the inside, and wearing your crown of gratitude proudly. Thank you very much, everybody. Bye.